3 things that freemium companies do right. You know, today, I don't know if you've ever thought of building a freemium company, if you want to know what the best do to win or how you should prioritize your resources, that's what I'm going to share in today's video. You know, I had the privilege of being asked to formally advise one of the largest freemium companies out there, Hootsuite. You know, they're $1 billion plus company, and I've been working with them for the last 7 years. So I've seen them go from, you know, thousands or hundred thousands of users to millions to tens of millions, and how they've really leveraged their freemium business model to extract the most value. You know, I'm also blessed to be friends with a guy named Mike McDermott who built an incredible company called Freshbooks. And, you know, over the years, watch him how he's evolved his product to really leverage that business model. And when I was building Flowtown, you know, my company, it was a social email marketing tool. We integrated with MailChimp, and we worked with Ben, the founder and CEO, and I understood, and we watched that transition from when they were only paid to freemium. And it was incredible to watch, and how he explained it on his blog and the data that they used to make that decision. I just think that, you know, as I've seen all these companies operate and scale, there's really 3 things that they do right, and that's what I want to share with you in this video. The first one is they're free to market and really educate to win mind share. You know, at the end of the day, Dropbox and other great freemium companies, they do everything they can to educate the market, to get press, to talk about integrations, to talk about how their product works with other companies so that people recommend them when there's a need. You know, recently my dad reached out and he's like, hey Dan, I'm thinking of starting a newsletter or an email. What tool should I use? Well, obviously MailChimp. I mean, you know, you get 2,000 contacts for free. So if you ever grow past that, then he's going to be willing to throw down a few dollars to pay for it. And that's the, you know, the paid part. So I just think that the best freemium companies out there, they really educate the market. They talk about it. They get mentioned in press. You know, think about Evernote, all these incredible companies. They're talked about all the time because it reduces the barrier when you're free to having other people adopt it, right? And it needs to be a very simple, focused solution. The second thing they do is they use data to improve their product. Right? So think about segments, cohorts, A/B tests. Because they have so much volume, because the product doesn't cost anything to use, they have so many users coming into the funnel, they're able to run experiments way faster than any other company and get statistical significance on those tests. And because of that, their product is evolving and testing and growing and improving at a rate that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do if you didn't have a freemium business model. So that is, when you think about resources and where you should allocate them, you want to make sure you take advantage of that. And then the third thing they do is they use customer data to improve their sales process. You know, if you've got a bunch of different accounts within a company, if you look and you got, you know, 27 users from a big enterprise corporation, and there's like 4 different departments, it makes a lot of sense for your sales guy to reach out to that company and say, hey, you've got 4 different departments using this product, all separate accounts, and wouldn't you want to consolidate billing, save some money, provide you with some extra features like security management or enhanced support or service level agreements? All of these things, because you have the data on the users and how they're using it, feeds into the sales process. It helps qualify, it helps create the lead list, it helps ensure that they have the data to talk about the benefits and the features that are going to be most attractive to those customers. And I've seen companies totally dominate. I mean, Yammer was one that did this at scale. They talked about it, how they looked for the domains of those different company emails, and then reached out to those businesses that were high priority, that were very probable to buy. And that is the third one. So real quick, free to market, educate and win mind share. That's number 1. Second is use data to improve the product through segments, cohorts, and A/B tests. And third, use the customer data to improve your sales process. Because if you think about it, free gives you traffic. Then you want to make sure your product rocks, so you want to use that data to run your experiments. And then third, once you got them, you got to convert them from the free part to the premium or the premium part of, you know, you want 4 or 5% of your users to end up upgrading to a pro account. So you want to use that data to ensure your salespeople have qualified leads all day long. That's what I want to share with you. If you want access exclusive content or private invites, subscribe to my newsletter right there. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business. And I'll see you next Monday.